We all dream of it at some point or another, don't we? Escaping to a sacred mountain temple, somewhere remote, somewhere quiet, where we can meditate and get away from it all, the stresses of the daily life, the stresses of social media and the news and everything. And that is exactly what we're going to do today. It's the brainchild of one man, this man.
Alright, so today, you've been so online recently. Yeah, like on Twitter, the Facebook, and of course YouTube. And it's too much of interaction as well. Like you answer the comments and that's what you've been doing.
I don't switch
You've been too nice almost like.
Yes, I'm too nice.
So I'm taking you to this temple, which is 1,200 years old.
Right.
And put you into this very strict training, Yambushi mountain training. Yeah, and you're going to love it.
But before we get to the strict mountain training in the secluded mountain, we're first going to one of the best, most critically acclaimed restaurants in all of Tohoku because it's quite near the mountain. So before things get strict, they're first going to get rather gluttonous indeed. The region we're visiting surrounds the town of Soroka and Yamagata, about a 30-minute drive south of the town I once lived in, where I worked as a teacher for 3 years. And I'll gladly admit it's a region I miss living in for the scenery alone, and for its somewhat mystical surroundings, thanks to the area's roots in the religions of Shintoism and Buddhism. But more on that later, because first, there's food to be had.
So this restaurant, the Alchecciano, is owned by a chef called Mr. Okuda, and he's once counted as one of the best 100 chefs in the whole world.
And, in the whole world?
In the whole world, yeah.
Born in Soroka in 1969, Masayuki Okuda has prepared food everywhere from the World Economic Forum to even serving the Pope in 2012. His reputation comes from his philosophy of carefully sourcing local ingredients, which have been selected to cultivate a deeper appreciation for the food and for the local area itself. In the case of the Alchecciano restaurant, he's managed to fuse Italian-style dishes with ingredients from within a 30-kilometre radius of the kitchen, from the nearby mountains to the Sea of Japan. So our first course has arrived, and it is flounder, the fish from the Sea of Japan, just about 10 kilometres that way. So all the food here is local, but it's the salt that's the really interesting thing. The salt has been harvested on the night of a full moon, when the water changes current. Apparently it's the best time to get the salt from the sea, and the thick, large grains of salt accompany the flounder rather well. You wouldn't normally think of those kind of things, but it's that kind of consideration that goes into the food here that makes it such a critically acclaimed place. And now Ryotaro is going to review it for us.
You actually feel the salt? Because
I should hope so. It's harvested on the night of the full moon.
So this is salt. Normally it's like a finer and it's in a smaller scale, but this is like it comes in this size, and so you put it in your mouth and you actually feel the salt.
You put the salt in your mouth and you feel the salt. Put my food as being to shame.
Flounder.
Yeah, flounder in review. So we got our next dish, which is fugu infused risotto. I think it's the first time I've ever had fugu, actually. The blowfish, which can kill you. So it's the most dangerous risotto I've ever had. But it's got 7 herbs on top, which are there to cleanse the palate before the main course. But looking at this risotto makes me very happy because it reminds me of a comment that I read yesterday about Ryotaro. Why do we never see Natsuki and Risotto in the same video? Do they hate each other? The reason you never see Natsuki and Ryotaro together is because they're actually the same person with a severe case of split personality disorder.
What?
One of them smokes 30 cigarettes a day, the other version is just bald. But all I know is your new name is Ryotaro from here on in. So it seems rather fitting that after receiving this comment yesterday, you're now
Risotto with a British accent, is that the...
Risotto.
The blowfish. Blowfish. It's really worth risking your life because it's so good.
You heard it here first, straight from the mouth of Risotto.
Okay, so we now have pork. It's called Yambushi pork.
Yambushi pork.
Yeah, it's a local pork, grown in this area, and it's plain. And what's so special is that it's been matured, and it's almost like tastes like the dried ham. You know what I mean?
Serrano ham.
It's Serrano ham, yeah. See, it's charcoal grilled too. Grilled. It's crispy on the surface, and it's very juicy inside. And
what about the fish?
It's a winter cod.
Winter cod?
So it caught in winter, so it's got a lot of fat in it. So it tastes more different. It tastes different.
So the cod actually changes flavour throughout the season?
Yep.
Depending on... That's quite cool.
Yeah.
Didn't know that.
Of course, you don't know anything. But anyway, so it comes with...
You know, numerous are the times that I visited a restaurant that hasn't quite lived up to its reputation. Alchecciano is not one of them. It's not every day you get to go to a restaurant where so much thought goes into the ingredients and where they're sourced and the way it's prepared. Long will I cherish the memories of the Yamabushi pork and the blowfish risotto. Doesn't look happy. And now we're off to a mystical mountain to get rather spiritual. Isn't that right, Ryotaro?
Yeah, we're going to see some ghosts.
The shrine we're staying in rests on the sacred secluded peak of Mount Haguro and holds the record for having the thickest thatched roof in all Japan. That's a lot of alliteration, but it's 2 metres thick because despite being only 414 metres, Haguro receives a ridiculous amount of snow. Just to give you a sense of scale to the snowfall they get here, look at this. So Ryotaro, how tall are you?
I'm 5'6" or something.
5'6", 5'7". So that's at least twice your height, about 10 foot.
Yeah.
That's what they have to deal with here every winter.
Every winter.
And then they have to deal with people like this coming, just to make things worse. So this is the room I'm staying in the temple. The key word here is cosy, and that's because of the kerosene heater. In Japan in winter, you live and die by the grace of the kerosene heater, because it's 28 degrees in here, it's lovely and warm and cosy. But out here, it is a mere fuck all degrees Celsius. It's so cold. You can see the snow falling out there a little bit, but if I go like that, you can see my breath. It's magical. In there, nice and cosy. Out here, it's like a fridge. So let's get back inside. So we've got the kerosene heater and the futon there with no less than 3 blankets to keep me warm. And then over here, this is my favourite room. This is the room that I like to call the tea room. Come on in. So you can sit here, enjoy your tea, watch a bit of television, and enjoy the second kerosene heater, which I haven't put on yet, but I'm definitely going to put on soon because it's absolutely freezing in here because of the shoji sliding doors. As beautiful as shoji sliding doors are, they're a terrible, terrible insulator. And out here, we've just got the kind of, that's it basically, that's the edge of the temple. In a way though, the snow acts like an insulator itself because it piles up about 1 metre or 2 high throughout the winter months and kind of helps insulate the building. But let's keep the door shut, let's keep warm. That was pretty stupid on my part. It's like a puzzle. Closing shoji sliding doors is like an exciting puzzle. A puzzle which is very simple. Yambushido is the term used to describe the mountain aesthetic practiced by monks for over 1,500 years. In recent times, the secretive practice has opened up to anyone who's looking to detoxify themselves in a 5-day practice held in the summer months where participants live by a strict aesthetic of Buddhist vegetarian cuisine, travel in silence across mountains, forests, rivers, and even meditate in waterfalls. It's overseen by Master Hoshino, probably the coolest looking man I've ever seen, and a 13th generation of his family to live as a Yamabushi priest. However, given it's the winter months and the temperatures hovering around 0 degrees, we're going to be practicing for several hours. And before we begin, we ask Master Hoshino to help define the concept of Yambushido.
まあ山伏とは俺だよ。はっきり言えばね、一言で言えば。だからこの俺が何かってことなんだろうけどね。要するに山伏って日本語で書くとね、山に伏すと書く。ね、山はいいよ。伏すは人が犬になるってやつ。ね、だから山に入って人が犬になるってこと。ということは、山に入って四つ足になる。四つ足というのはね、頭で考えないで、まさしくこの野生性そのもの、ね、自分のこの感じたままに動く。だから山伏というのはまず感じる世界の。
So here we are at the base of Haguro Mountain, and I'm dressed in this white costume. In Japanese, it's literally shiroshozoku, right?
Yeah, you pronounced it all right.
Good pronunciation there. But it literally means white costume. And this mountain, Haguro Mountain, represents rebirth. And to be reborn, you first need to be dead. And in Japan, at a funeral, the body is wrapped up in white cloth, and thus, being wrapped up in white cloth, we're technically dead, metaphorically dead. Not literally dead, that would be awful.
Dead, simply dead.
And
simply
now,
red? No, simply dead.
Why do we let him go anywhere near the camera. So this is Tuck, and he's our guide for today. I'm wondering, why can't we speak while we're going into the mountain? What's the significance of not talking, of being silent?
Because it's going to be a training,
Right.
practice. If you think about or to talk,
Yeah.
then you cannot be the moment.
If you talk, you can't be in the moment. So you
Yeah,
can't really appreciate the journey. Oh, okay, it makes sense. Only thing that worries me though, are there any bears in the forest?
Yes.
And if I said that so confidently, if I see a bear, can I talk then?
No. これより羽黒山塗装を再興する。From now on, we will have mountain trekking meditation session. 受けたもう。
At first, it feels a bit odd travelling in silence, and in these temperatures all you can think of is how cold your feet are, especially if, like me, you've forgotten to put on thick socks. And as a phone addict, it's hard not to Google something about snow or to quickly gaze at a Facebook notification of an amusing cat video. But going deeper into the forest across bridges, with the sound of water gushing down in waterfalls and along streams, and with the towering presence of cedar trees dating back over 500 years old, you really do just stop caring. You learn that being silent is the only way to truly appreciate the surroundings, and all of a sudden I'm overcome with a sense of regret that I don't do this more often, that I've forgotten how spectacular everything is. You know, when you stop and look around and just be in the present, it's something I don't do often enough.
I used to work advertising agency in Tokyo,
Right.
and I enjoyed city life. But I found something lack of in myself, and here I feel like part of something great. I used to think about the future always, like what's next. But now I can feel I'm in the moment.
Was it just me, or was Hoshino-san, the dude with the beard,
Yeah.
the coolest looking man in the world ever? His face, that was the very definition of Bushido.
Yeah, I think that like how he looks. I mean, that's quite rare for a Japanese person. I don't really see a person like that with like a long beard, with like such a aura, almost like.
He had an aura. He had just an exceptional face. Really.
Exactly, and that's what I think. That kind of person is like a person that the Westerners like expect from a Japanese traditional Japanese person from Bushido. You know what I mean?
He's fulfilled my stereotypes.
Exactly. Hello, people who cannot eat meat, fish, egg, dairy. Welcome to the vegan world.
Welcome to the vegan world.
Yes. Apologies for that, but
That could be like the name of your book, a really crappy book that
What
you've
is it?
written. Welcome to the vegan world.
yeah, welcome to the
With
vegan
your
world.
face on the front cover.
But which is something that's happening in front of me today.
What, the vegan world?
Yeah, vegan world. What's happening? What else is it? It's like a rice, sesame tofu, some bamboos, and deep fried tofu.
So nearly all of the food here that we've got before us is from Haguro Mountain, the mountain we're on right now. Because it's the winter season, some of these foods have been preserved and kept in storage until now. But yeah, it's all from the mountain. It's pretty cool, isn't it? So we're in this big dormitory built onto the side of the temple, and it's a bit like The Shining, because there's nobody else here at the moment. We picked a day when there was not many other people around.
I haven't seen it yet.
Haven't seen anybody else apart from the staff.
I haven't seen Shining.
You haven't seen The Shining?
No, sorry.
It's basically Jack Nicholson runs around with an axe and just tries to chop up his family.
Thanks for the good explanation.
if you burst open the door with an axe tonight, I know to be worried.
Gone.
We
You
also,
know the film called Gone with Wind?
Gone with the Wind?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
There's a film.
Yeah.
Gone with Rice. That's
Gone
what
with
happened.
rice.
Emphasis.
Ryotaro went to look for some staff because he wants more rice and he can't find anyone.
Yeah.
Just nobody around. In a massive building with a maniac with 2 strawberries and a fashionable haircut.
Desperate for rice.
Desperate for his rice. After sleeping in a shrine, trekking through a forest of a sacred mountain, and eating rock salt harvested on the night of a full moon, it's all left me feeling rather rejuvenated. If you're having a midlife crisis or just want to escape from civilization for a few days, you can find out more about Yambushido training in the description box below, and at the rate I'm going, I'm seriously considering doing it in the summer. But for now though guys, as always, many thanks for watching, we'll see you next time. Yeah. Go Ryotaro.